All right, meeting is live, and just letting YouTube get caught up here. Setting up your meeting for YouTube live. Here we go. All right, I need to mute myself on the right monitor. Cool. All right. Hi, Jackie.
Hi, Rich. The unofficial start to summer. Happy Friday.
Yes, that's right. Happy Friday. Yes. So for those of you joining us or watching us later, my name is Rich Malloy. This is Jackie Dietrich. We are part of the Startup of the Year team powered by Established. And on Fridays, we do office hours with Startup of the Year applicants. And this is a free service that we offer to the startups that apply to the Startup of the Year program. Jackie and I are both big believers and supporters in the power of the community and supporting the community that we're a part of and giving back to that community. And so this is one of the ways that we do it. And we just feel like that there's a lot missing right now in the community because we can't get together. And so getting together virtually is one of those ways, you know.
And one of the best ways, because it really allows startups from anywhere to tap into our network and our resources.
Totally.
So I would anticipate that next week you might see new faces behind the broadcast because we're inviting other key members of our community to join for office hours to provide that service to startups too.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Me too.
Yeah. And if you are a startup and you did not get access to office hours, that's probably because you're not part of Startup of the Year. And so go apply to Startup of the Year. Go to startupofyear.com. I think we all do also own startupoftheyear.com, but startupofyear.com and check out the application and apply. And if you're a part of the Startup of the Year program, then sign up for the office hours. Look for the email from Lori and get in the next wave of office hours that are happening. So this has been a lot of fun. Gosh, I just miss office hours so much. This has been so fulfilling. How was your day today?
I had a great day today. There, I think, are the glimmers of hope among startups who have certainly struggled with the economic crisis that's coming along with our current health crisis. But it sounds like many are finding that it's opening avenues or forcing them to be a little bit more creative in some ways, and that has brought some, some sparks of inspiration and new opportunity that they wouldn't have otherwise considered. So it was fun on a Friday afternoon to see that there's still a lot of optimism out there about what's possible.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. Anything specific you could share?
So with the startups that I've been talking to, what's really on their mind is not just like this scramble for the capital part of the business, but really how do they continue to expand their network and the just in general, like their exposure to their market in new ways. And for the startups that I've seen, they all have a really strong revenue component to what they're doing, which allows them to bootstrap or to be self-funded in ways that really give them an advantage because they're prioritizing generating revenue for their startups first, which I think is a very sound strategy. But, we have people who have really been finding other ways to find support for their startup than the traditional channels that they've kind of been like indoctrinated as the way to go. And so they're looking at opportunities like Startup of the Year because it's such an awesome way to gain exposure and to tap into like a network of investors who already get the value of community and come with kind of the, maybe to steal a Techstars term, but the give first kind of approach. Like those investors are often showing up because not only do they want to find the best and brightest startups for their portfolios, but they also want to contribute mentorship and their expertise or lend, whatever connections they have personally. And so that's how they show up. And I think that's a lot of times why they find alignment with Startup of the Year in the first place. So the startups that I talk to have really been coming with that perspective of, hey, I'm here as part of Startup of the Year because I'm interested in the exposure and the networking opportunity as much as, the chance to win a $20,000 check or a $10,000 cash prize if you're a if you're a U.S. veteran founder this year. So I talked to a couple of the veteran founders that are really excited about that opportunity. So we should make sure and give a little shout out to our virtual events that are coming up too.
Totally. Absolutely. So the veteran event is July 23rd, and that's the first of two. So we're going to do two veteran pitch competitions. And so the one on July is for both of them are for, veteran founded businesses, or if you are a spouse of active duty or military veteran, or guard or reserve, or the veteran, we go by the VA's definition of veteran. So it's all of the things, including
so
spouses.
Spouse or dependent.
Or dependent. Yes. Thank you. Good point. And that we have a $10,000 cash prize for it's called the .us Veteran Startup of the Year Award. And those are sponsored by .us, which is a great domain extension that we love because we are established .us, est.us. So, believers in that as well. But this is the second time in a row second week in a row where you've been talking about the startup community, and it's making me think about what we could do to get the startups to meet and engage with each other. And I wonder if there's an opportunity there, for them to all get together in some format. We'll have to talk to Jessica and Joe from our team who are exploring all the different event platforms that are out there and see.
Yeah. That would be great, because immediately what came to mind for one of the startups that I talked to, she's really focused on manufacturing products from recycled plastics. And there's a close tie to our winner last year.
Yes.
And they are both military veterans. They both have this social mission. And I think that peer network is so important when you're a startup, especially in, crazy times like this, where it's people who can share, well, what resource did you find? Where did you go when you needed help with your pitch? Or, who gave you great advice on putting together your investor deck, or whatever those things are that are just like the real meat of what challenges a founder.
Yeah.
And then it's often your peer group that has like the best ideas, or can kind of, poke you and tell you, oh, just go do it. Like, it's not that hard.
Totally. Absolutely.
What did you hear today? What's on the minds of the startups you talked to?
I'm gonna look at my notes a little bit, but I'll say this. I'm gonna raise a glass of water right now, but raise a glass to Bootstrap Founders.
Iced tea.
Iced tea. Oh,
official start to summer.
Yeah. I'm wearing my
seersucker mason jar.
Iced tea in a mason jar. So I'm ready for summer too. But no, seriously, Bootstrap Founders, all four founders that I spoke to today were all bootstrapped. And I know
it's amazing.
All bootstrap businesses. One of them flat out said, she was asking about, or we started the conversation about, growth strategies. And I was like, well, do you mean growth as in raising venture? And she's like, no, I just don't think that venture is the right fit for us. I want to build a business that, is a sustainable business. It's focused on revenue. I know that may seem crazy. And, you just can't help but laugh at stuff like that, where it's like, yeah, that, 2 years ago, maybe even a year ago, focusing on revenue, it's like, what do you mean you're focusing on making money? But really, these are the kinds of businesses that we truly need in this economy, in any economy.
Yep.
And so, so I appreciate that founders recognize that raising money is not the answer. It's not the goal. But I also really appreciate with Bootstrap Founders how creative they are. The first one had a very complex business, and I kept throwing things at him. He's like, "Well, do this and do this," and I actually just came up with this idea, and I would put all these pieces together and get them aligned, and then get the commercial real estate businesses to pay for it. And I was like, I love it. That's
a lot of sticky notes, dude.
Yes. But you see how it pushes the founders to find the right solutions that they can make work with the limited resources that they have, instead of just relying on some external source for that. So cheers to Bootstrap Founders.
Also Bootstrap Founders today. But interested in investors because after everything that's happening with COVID, she's really excited to become her own manufacturer so that she can employ more people in her local community.
Yeah.
And she really sees, she has the strong leadership background from her military experience, and really sees that she could do something to have like that more of a social impact in her community with her business. And so now she's looking at, fundraising really for the first time so that she can think about how to kind of vertically integrate and have her own supply chain, and even partnerships with her local community to like intake the supplies that she needs, and she's thinking like a community organizer. And that is in response to COVID.
Yeah.
Of like, it's not just enough. It doesn't feel like enough right now to have like a great consumer product. It's like these entrepreneurs that are now coming at it with like this narrative about how important it is to feel like they're doing more for their community through the power of their business. I just really admire that. And I think there's going to be a lot of investors who are looking for founders who are thinking like that.
Yeah. Yep. And, the first startup that had the very complex business with lots of, ways to solve the complexity for free. At the very end, he tapped into that of what really motivates him, which is to create jobs and to support the economy from the bottom up. And boy, did he just light up about that. And I didn't say this, but I'm going to, follow up with him. I have some follow-ups on email to do, but that's what you've got to lead with, right? You have to lead with that passion, because that's what we all need right now. It's what people are responding to. And also, look, he's been at it for 4 years and he's put a ton of work into it. And you got to appreciate, that. He started out just delivering from his bicycle, to make his business work. So, you appreciate that sort of dedication. But when you light that match on that passion and you watch that flame go, and you're like, wow, those are the people that you want to work with. And that other people
you see it as a match. I was thinking of it like the dial. Like if you can get that dial to go to 11 when things get hard, that is where we find resilience together.
Yes.
And like some of these founders that are thinking of their businesses as like, this is our restart because of COVID and how we've had to rethink our market strategy and how to de-risk our business. Like all of those things are coming because of that pressure. But it's like they're just digging in to find that, like, what is that one next level up that really makes it worth it?
I love that. Although being a Nassim Taleb nerd, I would say it's our anti-fragility. And
like that.
Instead of our resilience.
Yeah.
It makes us, the small fracture makes us stronger. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Wow, that's awesome. Saw another interesting business today from a mother-daughter team. And that's always fun to see. Have you worked with mother-daughter teams or had experience there?
I have worked with family, founders that are related, but not the mother-daughter instance. And I'm thinking of one, power mother and daughter startup that I've seen speak at conferences, with a mom that's in her kind of second retirement, and the daughter who's coming out of this, powerful corporate job. And God, what a dynamic duo. So tell me, what are they working on? What's happening?
Just out of curiosity, is that Mixtras?
It is.
Of course.
Tell me that's not who you were talking to.
No, I wish.
I was going to be really jealous.
Yeah, I know. Way overdue
yes,
to catch up with
Mixtras.
Yeah, we've got intros. That's right. Like intros, Mixtros. Yeah. In fact, we've got to figure out
Birmingham, Alabama.
Yes, we have to figure out how to work Mixtros into the startup of the year stuff.
I think we should.
I think we're overdue for a call with them. Yeah.
Speaking of community and peer-to-peer
startups. Right, exactly. I get their newsletters, and I'm just so bad with newsletters lately. So bad with email lately. But that's not what we're here to talk about.
Got lawns to mow and
right. Yes,
kids
definitely.
to juggle.
Yes, definitely. No, just thinking through hardware and what it's like to build a hardware product, and how you bootstrap that, and the challenges that come with that. One piece of advice for founders that are I think is a general piece of advice is that for founders that are looking to build hardware is to go to IndieGoGo and not to Kickstarter. So everybody thinks of Kickstarter. The last hardware project that I backed on Kickstarter was actually a startup of the year company called The Last Board Game. Is that the last? I think that's the name of the company.
The Last Board Game is a company out of Denver.
Yes. Yeah.
I know them well.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. They did an amazing kick, but their target audience were board games or board game geeks, right? So that was a natural fit for them to go to Kickstarter. But for everybody else, you should go to IndieGoGo because they have a partner with Arrow Electronics. And this is a totally not a sponsor or paid advertisement or anything, but like that's just the better place to go for that sort of electronic integration, components and things along those lines. Because at the end of the day, if you're doing a crowdfunding campaign, what comes down to is your ability to market to your network. So build your network, market to your network, get people to sign up. It doesn't matter if you're on Kickstarter or Joe's, crowdfunding.com. Makes a little bit of difference, but for IndieGoGo versus Kickstarter, it's not going to make any difference. So there's just one piece there that's always top of mind for me.
Yeah, I've also heard that IndieGoGo makes it really easy to try different versions of the product. So you get a ton of market feedback on like which version or what your market most prefers in terms of hardware.
Yeah.
There's something about, I don't know quite what that is, but is that something you've heard around the iteration side on IndieGoGo?
That's awesome. I did not know that.
Yeah, I've heard that people actually find that the crowdfunding campaign is almost more valuable for product testing than it is for like the actual fundraising that they do on the platform. But
awesome. I didn't even know that. And I've been sending people there. So thank you.
Yeah. What other, did you have startups that have, I've kind of talked with each of them about COVID and how they're, kind of looking at the resources that they're tapping into to meet their different challenges and goals. And what are you hearing people are turning to right now for that? Anything that surprised you?
No, I haven't really been digging in on that. I feel like it's the, it's the elephant in the room that we actually don't need to acknowledge because it's there and we all know it's there, except unless your business is specifically in supporting travel or restaurants or supporting, something that's, an industry that's just getting absolutely killed right now or has gotten killed in the last 2 months. So unless you're in that space, and it's like, okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room. But for the rest, it's like, yeah, it's here. It's a nice big elephant, and so I haven't really been digging in on that. Have you?
Well, what I've been asking them about is just how they're finding, that opportunity to like meet a new mentor, or when they're struggling with something, like where are you turning to get the feedback that you could normally find by going to like a networking event or something like that. And it's been interesting. A couple of our partners at Established that we work with have come up in the conversations, and one bright, shiny one is Hello Alice.
Oh yeah.
Because not only do they have amazing resources and like the curation of, how they've vetted external resources and created some of their own on their platform, but also they have a small grants program.
Oh.
That entrepreneurs are applying to. And I've heard that I think they're in a second round that's about to open, and they just announced their first round, and they were startups from, all over the country who got like $5,000 or $10,000 grants just to help them, with a particular challenge that they were having. So the one startup that I talked to today is like just identifying some of these smaller grant opportunities to help kind of fund while revenue has been lower, that those are sometimes easy wins. And they're not just grants for nonprofits, they're grants for small businesses.
Yeah.
It just is non-dilutive, no strings attached. Tell us your story and let us support you along the way kind of cash. So those are interesting. And then Startup Grind, because they're doing, really bringing like their mentor and their event into the virtual community, but have found ways to still kind of keep the peer, like the founder to founder networking happening. Yeah. So that was one that came up too for, if you're lucky enough to be in a community where that exists, but now you don't have to live there to be able to attend. And so people are like taking advantage of the fact that, they're able to attend things that they don't normally, because they don't live in Austin or they don't live in Chicago or whatever. And it's like, oh, that's actually really smart. Of like that dream conference that I was hoping to go to is $99 virtual instead of $1,200 over a 3-day weekend.
Yep. Right. And with travel and hotel and all of that. So that's fantastic. So the Hello Alice is a great point, and the founder sounds like should be checking that out. I'm going to add that to my follow-ups with each of these startups from this weekend, last week, to send them over there. And I completely forgot about that grant program. I mean, that is so cool. I tell you, sometimes like that $5,000, $10,000 is a lifesaver, especially when you're a bootstrap founder in tough times.
Well, and if they're not only giving you a grant, again, they're thinking about how can they bring their mentor network to support and really give concentrated, coaching or whatever it is that you need. So
yeah,
I think those programs are the ones that are really doing it right. It's cash, but also it's not just the check.
Yep. Totally. Awesome. Well, another great week of office hours. I could do this every week, and I hope to.
That, I think, is the plan.
I think that's the plan.
So if you haven't applied for Startup of the Year, but also if you are interested in joining our mentor network, how can people, if you're a community partner out there or an investor that's interested in mentoring startups, we have a call out there right now for people to join, because we do both virtual mentoring and office hours and things like this, but also during our summit, we support during the event itself as well. So having new and exciting mentors with different backgrounds and expertise is really important. And that's something that they could get in touch with Lori if they're interested in being a part of that, right?
Yep, absolutely. So it's good. We're welcome to expand the community. So it's good.
And next Thursday, you can watch our women-led startup event live. What time? 3:00 Eastern? Wow. I should know that right off the top of my head. It's the time zone thing that always gets me confused.
I'm clicking around frantically looking for it. I should know that.
Live streaming on YouTube. 5 founders will be pitching their startups, and they're all part of Startup of the Year. So it's a great glimpse into the kinds of startups that you'll become connected to as part of the community or as another founder when you apply for Startup of the Year.
Yep, that is 1 p.m. Eastern. And if you go to, I'm not even sure what the short link is, but we'll put the link in YouTube, put the link in show notes if we end up podcasting this. But yep, the Female Founder Startup of the Year virtual pitch competition, May 28th. The July 23rd will be the veteran pitch competition, and look for more events coming from Startup of the Year.
Thanks, Rich.
Yeah, thanks, Jackie.
Enjoy your unofficial kickoff to summer.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Me too.
Thanks a lot.
All right.
Talk to you soon.